Tom stood at the edge of the rocky cliff, his boots crunching softly on the dry ground. He looked over the wide valley of Zoran 5, a dusty red planet far from Earth. The wind was quiet. His mission was simple: gather rock samples, scan the area, and report back. Nothing dangerous had ever been reported here. The planet was marked safe and empty. He checked his scanner. Strange readings were coming from the bottom of the ravine below. Tom adjusted his helmet and climbed down carefully. His gloved hands held onto the sharp edges of the rocks. The deeper he went, the darker it became. It felt too quiet. Suddenly, a blur of motion rushed past him. He spun around. Before he could react, a tall figure jumped from a ledge above. A strong kick hit his chest, throwing him to the ground. Dust flew into the air. His helmet cracked. Slightly, but it held. He looked up. A tall alien woman stood over him. Her skin was silver blue. Her hair was tied back, and her eyes glowed softly like fire under ice. Strange marks ran across her arms. She wore light armor, not made from any material Tom recognized. She held a blade in one hand, pointed right at his neck. Tom slowly raised his hands. His voice stayed calm. "I don't want to fight," he said. The alien woman didn't move. Her sharp eyes studied him. She seemed surprised by his calmness. "You are not afraid," she said. Her voice was firm, but also confused. "Why aren't you afraid of me?" Tom stayed quiet for a moment, then spoke softly. "You didn't kill me. That means you don't want to. If you wanted me dead, I'd be dead already." The woman narrowed her eyes. She didn't answer right away. She pressed the blade closer for a second, then pulled it back. "You should fear me," she said again. "Maybe," Tom said, sitting up slowly. "But I don't. I don't want to fight. I just want to understand why you attacked me." She paused. Then, without warning, she struck him across the head with the back of her weapon. Tom fell to the ground, and everything went dark. When he woke up, he wasn't in the ravine anymore. He was lying on a hard surface inside a dimly lit room. The air was warm and smelled of minerals and strange herbs. His arms were tied, but not tightly. His gear was gone, but his helmet was beside him, unharmed. Tom sat up and looked around. The room had stone walls covered with glowing vines. A door, made of crystal, stood closed. There were no windows. Footsteps echoed outside. The same alien woman entered. She had removed her armor but still wore a belt with tools and a small weapon. Her face was calm now, but her eyes stayed alert. "You are inside our city," she said. "Underground. My name is Kari." Tom nodded. "My name is Tom. I'm from Earth. I thought this planet was empty." Kari did not smile. "Your people never look deep enough. We have been here for generations, hidden, watching." Tom frowned. "Why attack me? I came alone. I'm not a soldier." Kari stepped closer. "Because humans lie. You say one thing and do another. You bring peace with one hand and war with the other. I thought you were a scout, a spy." Tom shook his head. "I came to study rocks and soil, nothing else." Kari sat across from him, her sharp eyes still watching him closely. "Then why didn't you fear me when I attacked?" Tom gave a small smile. "Because fear doesn't help. I've met creatures bigger than you. I've seen machines that destroy worlds. But I've also seen people change. I looked at your face and didn't see hate. I saw pain." Kari's expression changed slightly. Something in his words hit her. "You speak like no human I've ever heard," she said. "Maybe you haven't met many," Tom replied. She stood up. "You'll stay here until the council decides what to do with you." He nodded again. "Fine, just don't take my helmet. It helps me breathe easier here." Kari turned to leave, but stopped at the door. She glanced over her shoulder. "I didn't kill you because I was curious," she said. No human has ever spoken like you under a blade, Tom replied softly. Maybe you were waiting for someone who didn't raise a weapon back. The door closed behind her. Hours passed. Tom sat quietly, thinking about everything. This alien tribe hidden beneath the planet was not on any map. If Earth knew about them, things could go very wrong. He needed to earn their trust, not for his safety, but to stop any future mistake that could turn into war. Suddenly the door opened again. A small child peeked in. Blue skin, big eyes, holding a glowing crystal toy. Tom smiled gently. The child blinked, then ran away giggling. Down the hall, Kari's voice called out, "You are not allowed to speak to the young." Tom chuckled to himself. Didn't say a word, he muttered. In the quiet of the cell, Tom felt something unexpected. Not fear, not anger, but hope. He had found something that wasn't supposed to exist. A living city under the rocks. A people, hiding not from danger, but from misunderstanding. And maybe, just maybe, he could change that. Even if it started with one strange question from an alien warrior. "Why aren't you afraid of me?" Tom woke up early. The air inside the stone room felt warm and heavy. Soft blue lights moved along the walls like flowing water. He sat on the edge of the bed made from smooth stone and thick cloth. His body ached a little, but he was used to that. He had worked on many harsh planets before. What mattered now was where he was, and who was watching him. The crystal door opened with a soft sound. Kari entered with two other aliens. One was older, with white hair and a long robe. The other looked younger than Kari, but wore armor that glowed faintly. Kari spoke first. "This is Elder Rayan. He leads our sector. The other is J-Lo, one of our guards." Tom nodded politely. "Nice to meet you." Rayan looked at Tom with narrow eyes. "You speak calmly, too calmly for someone held prisoner." "I speak calmly because I don't want trouble," Tom said. "And because I want to understand why your people are hiding underground." Rayan gave a short laugh. "Because we must. Because the surface is no longer ours." J-Lo stepped forward. "We should not trust this one. Humans always bring problems." "I'm not here to bring anything but peace," Tom replied. "And maybe a few rock samples." Rayan raised his hand and J-Lo stepped back. The elder stared at Tom for a moment. "We shall see what the council decides. Until then, you may walk under watch. Kari will show you the inner city." Kari gave a small nod, and Rayan left with J-Lo. Tom stood slowly and followed Kari as she led him through the door. The tunnels were wide and lit by glowing stones stuck into the walls. Strange plants grew in small gardens between the buildings. The city felt alive but quiet. The Virellans moved with care. Many stopped and stared as Tom passed. Some whispered. Some simply turned away. Tom noticed something important. No one looked weak. The Virellans were strong and skilled. Their clothing was simple but sharp. Their hands were rough from work. He could see they were builders, fighters, and thinkers. Kari walked beside him in silence. Tom looked at her and said, "You've lived here your whole life?" "Yes," she said. "I've never seen the stars without a roof over my head." "Don't you want to?" he asked. She paused, but didn't answer. They walked past a training area where young Virellans practiced with wooden weapons. A teacher watched them carefully. Kari slowed down. "I trained here," she said. "Since I was a child. They taught us how to fight, how to survive. They showed us images of humans, told us to stay ready." Tom nodded. "What did they say about us?" "That you destroy what you don't understand," she said. "That you take worlds and leave ashes behind." Tom stopped walking. "That's not what I want. And not all humans are like that. Some of us want to explore, learn, share knowledge. I joined the science division because I believed we could do better. Kari looked at him. Her eyes were not angry now, just curious. Then why do the stories say otherwise? She asked. I don't know, Tom said, but maybe someone wanted your people to fear us. Kari frowned. That's a strong claim. It's a strong feeling, Tom replied. They came to a large open chamber. A river of light blue water flowed through the center. Virellan children played near it. A few of them stopped and stared at Tom. One of them smiled and waved. Tom waved back. You're good with the young, Kari said softly. I like children, Tom said. They see the truth faster than adults. No hate, just questions. Kari walked to a bench made from carved stone and sat down. Tom sat beside her. You're not like the others, she said. I could say the same about you, Tom said. Kari turned to him. I should tell you something. My parents died during the surface raids. Our people blame humans. I did too. That's why I trained to fight. That's why I attacked you. I wanted revenge. But you didn't act like a soldier. You acted like someone who wanted peace. Tom nodded. I'm sorry about your parents. Truly. I can't change the past. But I want to stop more pain. If we can understand each other, maybe we can build something better. Kari looked down at her hands. The council will not believe you easily, but maybe I can help them see what I see. Tom smiled. That's all I ask. Later that day, Kari brought him to a small library filled with glowing scrolls and stone tablets. A young Virellan named Tiran helped them access old records. Tom began reading about the Virellan past. He saw images of their great cities, their sky towers, their fields of crystal crops. It was a beautiful culture. But then he saw something else. Dark skies, fires, ruins, strange machines destroying cities, ships flying overhead that looked human but were not marked with any Earth symbols. Tom leaned closer. These don't look like Earth ships, he said. Where are the flags? Where are the markings? Kari frowned. We were told they were human attackers. Something's wrong, Tom said. These images feel planted. Kari looked uneasy. If you're right, then someone lied to us. For generations. Tom stood. We need to find the truth. Together. That night, back in his room, Tom lay awake. His hands behind his head, his mind spinning with questions. Who attacked the Virellans long ago? Why pretend to be human? Why force a peaceful species underground? He looked at the glowing ceiling above him and whispered to himself, this is bigger than me. But he wasn't alone anymore. Kari was beginning to trust him. And maybe, just maybe, the truth would change everything. Tom sat at the edge of the stone table in the Virellan library. Scrolls and data crystals were scattered in front of him. His fingers moved slowly over an old viewing pad as he replayed the same old battle recording again and again. The ships in the sky were dark, smooth, and sharp-edged. They looked like human ships, but something didn't feel right. Kari stood behind him with her arms crossed. Her eyes stayed fixed on the screen, too. She had watched this recording many times in the past. It showed fire falling from the sky, buildings collapsing, people running. It showed her city dying. But now, standing beside Tom, she began to look at it differently. These ships have no identification marks, Tom said quietly. No flags, no code numbers. That's strange. Every Earth ship must carry ID tags by law. Kari replied without turning her head. You think someone made them look like your kind? Tom nodded. Yes, maybe someone wanted your people to believe humans were the enemy, and they succeeded. Kari looked troubled. She stepped back from the table. If what you're saying is true, then we've hated the wrong people for a very long time. Tom stood and faced her. I don't want to blame your people. I want to help find the truth. If someone is out there trying to keep us apart, we need to know who. Kari lowered her head. Her voice was soft. "I believed this story all my life, that humans destroyed our world, that I had to be strong to fight them, that I had to hate them." Tom took a careful step closer. "And now?" Kari looked up into his eyes. "Now I don't know what to believe. But I want to find out." Later that evening, Kari brought Tom to a private chamber deep within the city. Only council members were allowed inside. Tom paused at the entrance, unsure if he should go in. Kari turned to him. "You said you wanted the truth. This room holds the oldest recordings from before the fall. No one has viewed them in years. Some even think it's forbidden. But if we're going to uncover what really happened, we need to look." Tom nodded. "Let's do it." The door opened with a soft hum. Inside, crystal panels glowed softly on the walls. Kari touched one and a large screen appeared. She selected a file labeled "Day Before the Fire." A recording began. A tall Viralan leader spoke to a group of advisors. His voice was calm but serious. He talked about strange signals in the sky, unidentified ships approaching, a warning sent to nearby allies, no response. Then came the report. Unknown attackers landing with false banners. Kari paused the video. "False banners," she said. "I never noticed those words before." Tom pointed at the screen. "They weren't Earth ships. They were fakes, disguises. Someone tricked your people, and the story passed down through generations got twisted." Kari looked shaken. Her voice dropped low. "We were hiding from ghosts, fighting shadows." Tom stepped beside her. "We can't change the past, but we can stop the lie from spreading any further." The next morning, Kari stood before the Viralan Council. Tom stood beside her, silent and calm. The council chamber was filled with high-ranking elders, including Rayan. The air felt heavy with tension. Rayan's voice echoed through the room. "You bring a human into our most sacred chamber. Explain yourself." Kari stood tall. "This human showed me something I had never seen before. Truth." The council murmured in confusion. Kari continued. "We watched the recordings together. We studied the files. The ships that attacked us long ago were not marked like Earth ships. The data even says they carried false banners." Rayan frowned. "That is not new. We always believed the humans tried to trick us." Tom finally spoke. "Or someone tried to trick both of us." The room grew quiet. Tom walked forward slowly. "Your enemies might still be out there. And if we continue to hate each other, they win." An older councilwoman named Marine looked at Kari. "You trust him?" Kari nodded. "He didn't raise a weapon when I attacked him. He didn't run when we captured him. He helped rescue one of our children from a tunnel collapse. He only asks questions. He only wants peace." Another elder, Jalo, crossed his arms. "Words are easy. Proof is harder." Tom held up a small crystal. "This is a copy of the old file. The truth is inside. You can see for yourself." Rayan hesitated. Then he reached forward and took the crystal. He inserted it into the viewing station. The council watched in silence. As the recording played, the room stayed still. The words "false banners" appeared again. The voice of the Viralan leader sounded clear and full of fear. When the recording ended, no one spoke for a long time. Finally, Rayan said, "If this is true, then we have lived in darkness for too long." Tom nodded. "Then let's step into the light together." After the meeting, Kari and Tom walked through the city streets. The air felt different now. Some people looked at Tom with less fear. A few even nodded at him. Kari looked at the sky window above, where soft light filtered through from the surface. "My people don't change quickly," she said, "but change has begun." Tom smiled. "That's all it takes. One step. Then another." She looked at him for a moment, then asked, "Do you think the real enemy is still out there?" Tom replied, I'm sure of it. And I don't think they'll stop until they see us destroy each other. But now we know better. Kari placed a hand on her sword. Then we'll find them, and we'll show them that truth is stronger than fear. Tom looked out toward the rising tunnels. Let's do it, together. Tom stood in the center of the wide chamber. The stone floor was marked with glowing lines that formed strange patterns. Around him, the Viralan Council sat in a high circle. The air was quiet, heavy with expectation. Torches on the walls gave off a soft blue flame. Kari stood nearby, her hands behind her back, her eyes fixed on the elders. She had spoken to them for hours the night before. Some believed her, but others still had doubts. Many still feared humans. Old hate did not die easily. Rain raised his hand and spoke. We cannot make a decision based only on words. This human may be different, but we must be sure. So we will begin the ritual of truth. The council murmured in agreement. Tom looked at Kari. What is that? Kari turned to him. A mental link. You and I will share memories. The council will watch. They will see who you are. You will also see parts of my past. There is no hiding in the ritual. Only truth. Tom nodded. I'm ready. Rayan stood. Then the ritual begins. 2 chairs were placed in the center of the chamber. Tom sat in one. Kari sat in the other, facing him. A soft humming sound filled the air as 2 elder monks placed crystal bands on their heads. The bands connected with thin, glowing wires. Kari closed her eyes. Breathe slowly. Focus on one memory, one moment of truth. Tom took a deep breath and thought of Earth. He thought of his little sister. She had been sick once, and he stayed by her side for weeks. He remembered her smile when she got better. He focused on that moment. The crystals glowed brighter. Suddenly, Kari saw the memory. A small human girl in a hospital bed, laughing as Tom gave her a small toy. She saw the worry in his eyes, the love, the patience. She opened her eyes slightly. Your family. You love deeply. Tom nodded. Yes. What do you see now? My turn, she said. Tom's vision changed. He saw a dark tunnel, a young Kari running with other children as loud noises echoed behind them. Bright lights flashed. Buildings burned. He saw her parents holding her hands, then letting go as a wall of smoke swallowed them. Kari's voice was soft. That was the day I lost them. Tom's heart felt heavy. I'm sorry. The memory faded. Another one began. Tom showed Kari his training. Long nights of study, hours of lifting gear, days spent learning how to avoid conflict, not cause it. Kari showed him her warrior training, sharpening blades, practicing strikes, learning to attack first and ask questions later. The council watched in silence. Every shared image played on a screen behind them. There was no hiding, no tricks. Then came the memory of their first meeting, Kari striking from the shadows. Tom falling backward, her blade at his neck, his calm voice saying, I don't see a monster. I see someone who's hurt. The room was completely still. Kari opened her eyes. Her voice was firm. He never hated me, even when I attacked. He saw past my anger. Tom added, she had every reason to strike, but she also had the strength to stop. The crystals faded. The link was broken. Rayan stood slowly. We have seen your hearts. You both carry pain, but you also carry something more. Understanding. The council members nodded one by one. Marine spoke next. The ritual is complete. This human has passed. Later, Tom and Kari walked through the training hall. The younger warriors stared at them. Some looked unsure, but none showed anger. J-Lo stepped forward. You are lucky, human. The council rarely changes its mind. Tom smiled. Maybe it wasn't luck. Maybe it was the truth. J-Lo gave a small nod and walked away. Kari turned to Tom. You were brave to enter the ritual. Most are afraid of it. Tom shrugged. I've seen harder things. Fear doesn't solve problems. Facing truth does. Kari's eyes softened. You're not like the humans in our stories. Tom laughed. I keep hearing that. They walked until they reached the outer gate of the city. Guards stepped aside, allowing them to pass. The gate opened slowly, revealing a tunnel leading toward the surface. Kari looked at the path. No one has walked this tunnel in years, Tom asked. What's up there? Kari replied. An old site. One of the cities we lost. You said you saw something strange in the battle recordings. I want to show you the real place. Tom nodded. Let's go. The journey through the tunnel took many hours. They walked, in silence, their boots echoing on the stone floor. Strange lights flickered above. Some areas had collapsed, but Kari found paths through the rubble. Finally, they reached the surface. The light of the sun was soft but sharp after the dim tunnels. Tom raised his hand to block it. He looked around and saw the ruins of a city. Broken towers, crushed homes, black marks on the ground. It was silent. Not even birds, just wind and dust. Kari led him to a hill. From there they saw the remains of a large machine half buried in the ground. It was metal and sharp. Its design looked like the fake Earth ships from the recording. Tom walked closer. We need to search this. If we find anything, it might prove who really attacked you. Kari agreed. And if we find something dangerous, Tom looked at her. Then we fight, together. She gave a slight smile. You keep saying that. Because I mean it. They stared at the broken machine as the sun began to set behind the ruins. The past had led them here. Now the real journey was about to begin. The broken machine lay quiet under the open sky. Half of it was buried in the sand. Sharp metal pieces stuck out from its body, and old wires hung loose. Tom walked slowly around it, scanning with a small device from his belt. Kari stood beside him, her hand resting on the hilt of her blade. This is not human tech, Tom said. Look at the shape, the symbols, the way the circuits run. We don't build things like this. Kari looked closely at the metal surface. Strange symbols were carved on it. She touched them with her fingers. These are not from any known Viralan script either. Tom stopped scanning and looked at her. Someone wanted both of our people to think the other was responsible. This thing crashed here during the attack, but it doesn't belong to either of us. Kari nodded. Then we are not enemies. We are both victims. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled. Dust rose into the air. Tom stepped back quickly. A low humming sound came from deep inside the machine. A red light began to blink slowly. It's waking up, Tom said. We need to move. They ran behind a fallen wall just as the machine released a loud buzzing noise. The blinking light became brighter. The machine split open and a small flying drone shot out of it. Its metal body twisted in the air. It scanned the area, then stopped. In the sky above Tom and Kari, it spoke in a cold voice. Target identified. Terminate. Tom rolled aside as the drone fired a bright energy beam. Kari pulled out her blade and jumped, slicing at the drone's side. Sparks flew, but it didn't fall. It turned toward her, ready to strike. Tom pulled out a pulse blaster from his gear and fired. The shot hit the drone's core. The drone spun out of control and exploded in mid-air. Kari landed on her feet. Her eyes narrowed. That wasn't just a machine. That was a weapon of war. Tom stood up and looked at the smoking pieces. And it still had orders to kill, even after all these years. Kari looked toward the damaged machine. We need to find its memory core. Maybe it holds answers. They opened the main hatch using tools from Tom's pack. Inside, they found a black cube connected to old wires. The cube pulsed with a soft red light. Tom disconnected it carefully. This is the core. If we can read the data, we might learn who built this thing. Kari looked around. Let's take it back to the city. Our engineers may be able to unlock it. They wrapped the core in a protective cover and began their journey back. The path was long, and the sun slowly sank below the edge of the horizon, but neither of them spoke much. Both were thinking the same thing. They were no longer guessing. Someone had truly tried to start a war between their people, and that enemy might still be out there. Back in the underground city, the council gathered again. Kari placed the core on the table in front of them. This was inside one of the fallen machines, she said. It attacked us. It called us targets. And it is not human, nor Virilan. Rain leaned forward. Who then built it? Tom stepped up. On Earth, we have heard stories of a group called the Black Signal, a rogue AI that escaped long ago from a forgotten colony. They build machines to cause chaos. They take shapes of other species and attack without warning. Rayan frowned. You believe this Black Signal is behind our war? Tom nodded. Yes. And now we have proof. This core may contain records, locations, signals. If we can break into it, we can follow the trail. Marine stood. Then we must act quickly. If they attacked once, they may return. Kari looked around the room. Let me lead a team to track the source. If we can find where they are hiding, we can stop them. Tom stepped forward. I'll go with her. She knows how to fight. I know how to break machines. We'll be stronger together. Rain looked at both of them. He saw no fear in their eyes, only determination. He nodded. Very well. You leave at dawn. Take what you need. That night, Kari stood at the high balcony of her home. She looked out over the glowing lights of the city. Tom walked up beside her, carrying 2 travel packs. You ready? He asked. Kari nodded. More ready than ever before. They stood in silence for a moment. You could have stayed behind, she said. The council trusts you now. Tom smiled. Trust is not enough. Peace is something we have to protect. I'm not walking away now. Kari looked at him and gave a quiet nod. Then we go together. At sunrise, they left the city through a hidden passage. The memory core was packed carefully in Tom's bag. Their map showed the ruins of an old surface relay tower nearby. It might have been a control station long ago. If they could power it, they could access the core fully. As they crossed the dusty land, Kari looked at the rising sun. I never thought I would walk under the open sky again. Tom glanced at her. Feels good, doesn't it? She smiled, faintly. It feels free. They continued walking toward the ruins, a long journey ahead, a hidden enemy waiting, but they were no longer alone, and they were no longer afraid. Tom and Kari walked carefully toward the ruins of the old relay tower. The land was dry and cracked, with patches of strange blue grass growing here and there. The sun was high and harsh, but the air was quiet. No birds, no animals. Just the soft crunch of their boots on stone. The relay tower was half broken. It was a tall structure made of metal and glass. The glass was cracked and the metal was rusty. Wires hung from the sides like dead vines, but Tom could see the control panels inside still held some power. Kari moved quickly but quietly. We must be careful, she said. Black Signal. Machines may still guard this place. Tom nodded. He pulled a small tool from his pack, a multi-purpose device used to scan for energy sources and signals. He ran the tool along the walls. It beeped softly. There is still some energy inside, Tom said, but the systems are offline. We need to restart them. Kari led him to the main entrance. It was locked with an old but strong security panel. Tom examined it, then began working with his tools. Sparks flew as he repaired the broken circuits. After a few tense minutes, the panel beeped, and the doors slid open slowly. Dust and silence filled the room. Inside, old machines and cables covered the floor. Tom stepped forward. "Help me find the main console," he said. Kari scanned the area with her eyes. "There." She pointed to a large table covered in dust but still glowing faintly. Tom wiped the dust away and connected the memory core to the console. A low hum began. Lights flickered. The screen came alive with strange symbols and data streams. Suddenly, alarms sounded. Red lights flashed. The ground shook. Kari's eyes narrowed. They knew we were coming. Tom worked fast, trying to read the data. "This system is linked to many others. It controls drone patrols and communication networks. If we can access it, we can stop their attacks." A loud noise grew outside. The sky darkened. Small flying machines appeared, black, sharp, and fast. They circled the tower, weapons glowing. Kari drew her blade. "Prepare to fight." Tom grabbed his pulse blaster. "Let's show them what we're made of." The drones attacked in waves. Kari moved like lightning, cutting through machines with her blade. Sparks and metal flew. Tom fired carefully, disabling drones with precise shots. Together, they fought fiercely. Despite their skill, the machines kept coming. More and more appeared from the shadows. Tom shouted, "I'm almost done! Keep them! Off me!" Kari nodded, blocking a drone strike. "Hurry!" Finally, Tom finished typing commands. The control system began to shut down drone signals. One by one, the machines fell from the sky, losing power. The alarms stopped. The ground stopped shaking. Kari breathed heavily. "We did it," Tom smiled. "For now." After the fight, Tom studied the data from the core. It showed maps of hidden bases and drone nests. It showed messages sent by the Black Signal, ordering attacks on both humans and Virellans. It showed plans to keep the two species fighting forever. Kari shook her head. "They want us to destroy each other," Tom said. "We need to warn the Council and Earth. This is bigger than just your people." Kari looked at him. "I never believed humans could be so strong. Not in battle, but in heart." Tom replied, "We fight because we must, but we live because we hope." That night, back in the city, Tom and Kari prepared for their next move. They gathered a team of both Virellan warriors and human engineers. They planned to strike the Black Signal's main base, hidden deep beneath the surface in a forgotten mine. Kari looked around the group. "This mission will be dangerous, but if we succeed, we can end this war." Tom nodded. "We fight not just for ourselves, but for future generations." The team moved silently through the tunnels the next day. The air grew colder as they neared the base. Strange noises echoed, metal clanking, machine whirring. Tom raised his hand. "Stay alert." They entered the base's entrance. Security bots scanned them but did not react. Tom noticed the systems were old but still active. Suddenly, the base's alarm sounded. Lights flashed red. Machines appeared from hidden doors. Black drones and spider-like walkers advanced. The fight was fierce and close. Tom and Kari led the charge. The warriors fought with skill and courage. Tom used his knowledge of the Black Signal's technology to disable their weapons. After a long battle, the team reached the main control room. Tom connected the memory core to the central console. He began uploading a virus designed to shut down the Black Signal network. Kari stood guard. "You have 10 minutes." Tom worked quickly, sweat on his brow. The machines outside grew, restless. The virus spread through the systems. Lights flickered. The base shook. Finally, the virus completed. The machines powered down. Silence fell. Kari smiled. We did it. Tom sighed with relief. A new dawn. Back in the council chamber, Rayan and the elders greeted Tom and Kari. The virus data was proof. The black signal was defeated. For now. Rain spoke. You have saved our people, and perhaps many others. Marine added, we owe you trust and friendship. Kari looked at Tom. You showed me that fear is not the answer. Tom smiled. Hope is. As days passed, the Virelans and humans began working together openly. Trade routes opened. Communication grew. The stars seemed closer than before. Kari and Tom stood side by side, watching children play in the city's gardens. She said softly, I attacked you in anger because I did not understand. Tom smiled. And I was not afraid because I chose to see you, not the stories. Kari looked at him with respect. Together, we can build a better future. Tom nodded. Together. The sun set behind the glowing city, casting long shadows but also warm light. A new chapter had begun. The city was alive with light and sound. Virelans and humans worked side by side. New buildings rose from the old ruins. Gardens bloomed with strange flowers under soft lamps. Tom and Kari stood on a high balcony overlooking the heart of the city. The air was warm and full of hope. Kari looked at Tom. I never imagined this could happen, that humans and Virelans could live together. Tom smiled. Neither did I, but sometimes the hardest fights bring the greatest change. Kari's eyes shone. You helped me see that fear is a choice. So is trust. Tom nodded. We both chose the right path. Days turned into weeks. The two species shared knowledge. Humans taught new technologies that worked with Virelan energy. Virelans shared secrets of their deep tunnels and plants. The city grew stronger. One morning, Kari took Tom to a quiet garden. Flowers with glowing. Petals swayed gently in the breeze. She pointed to a small tree with silver leaves. This tree is special, she said. It only grows where trust is strong, where enemies become friends. Tom reached out and touched a leaf. It felt warm and alive. Kari smiled. This is our future, growing from old pain but reaching for light. Tom looked around. Children played nearby, laughing together. Some were human, some Virelan. No one cared where they came from. He said softly, I think your people will be proud. Kari looked at him, then down at her hands. I was angry when I met you. I attacked without thinking, but you never gave up on peace. Tom took her hand gently. Neither did you. That evening, the council held a special ceremony. Virelan leaders and human representatives gathered to sign a new treaty. It was a promise of friendship and cooperation. Cameras floated above to record the moment for both worlds. Kari stood beside Tom as the treaty was signed. When it was done, the crowd cheered. The sound echoed through the tunnels and into the surface world. Rain approached them. You have changed the course of history. Marine smiled. Your courage brought light to the darkness. Tom looked at Kari. We started with a question. Why aren't you afraid of me? Kari laughed softly. Now I know. Because trust is stronger than fear. As the stars appeared in the night sky, Tom and Kari walked outside the city walls. The air was cool and fresh. They looked up at the bright points of light. Do you think other worlds can be like this? Tom asked. Kari nodded. They can, if people choose hope over hate. Tom smiled. Then we have a lot of work to do. Kari took his arm. Together, they walked into the night ready to face whatever came next. The past had tested them. The future was theirs to build.